You can shift timelines and manifest easily like this. So one thing that has been a game changer for me in shifting timelines and manifesting really quickly and easily is askfirmations. You're probably familiar with affirmations, which are I am statements. So things like I am wealthy, I am healthy, I am loved, I am prosperous, I am successful, anything like that that's going to rewire your brain and mind and thoughts. Sorry if you can hear my dog. He's here, so yeah, I don't know if you could hear that little growl he made, but anyways, he might be making a bit of noise. He might shake the camera a bit, but that's okay. So askfirmations are, instead of stating it as a statement, it's asking it as a question. So things like, how am I so wealthy? How am I so lucky? How am I doing so well? How is everything always working out so perfectly for me? How is everything going so well for me? How am I so loved? How am I so supported? How am I so successful? Things like that ask questions really help with your subconscious mind, because the logical part of your mind, if you're saying an affirmation but you don't actually believe or feel that it's true, there can be a bit of a cognitive dissonance where your brain is like almost arguing with the affirmation that you're saying. And so with an askfirmation, you're kind of giving a job to that logical part of your brain to then be finding evidence for it. And for me, askfirmations really help me get into a state of gratitude. So I would go for walks and I would be, as I'm walking, I'm asking these questions. How am I doing so well? How does everything work out so well for me? How am I so rich? And then as I'm asking these questions, it's almost like popping up, like my subconscious or logical brain is kind of popping up examples in my life of how things are so good. It's also helping me see things in my life in such a better light. And so as I'm walking and asking these things, it puts me in a good mood. It puts me into a state of appreciation. It shows me how things are going so well in my life and shows me examples of different things that I'm saying as askfirmations. And in my experience practicing this, I was able to shift things incredibly fast and more easily than ever. So after practicing for about a week askfirmations, where every night before going to bed I would listen to askfirmations, and I wrote my own. So I would put on my phone in the little voice notes, I would just record myself asking things. So how is whatever that I was wanting to create more of in my life, I would put as a question or an askfirmation. So it can be things like why is, why am, or how am, how, whatever. So why and how are typically the questions I use for askfirmations. And so I had all these recordings in my voice notes in the phone, and so at night in the evening, as part of my evening routine, I would just be listening to askfirmations on repeat, and within a few days things started to shift. And so I would say that's one of the things was askfirmations. I still use affirmations, and so affirmations I used as, I would have post-it notes. Like I had this little section of my wall that I kind of put all these different post-it notes of affirmations. And then I also would get into a power pose, so that's standing with my hands on my hips. Power pose could be any, it could be with your hands up, but studies have shown that if you stand in a power pose for 2 minutes, it actually physically increases the level of testosterone in your body. And when you have more testosterone, it helps you with the drive and willpower and motivation to accomplish your goals. So if you have a goal that you've set out and you're wanting extra empowerment to get it done, where you might be feeling some type of block, then having these affirmations written of all these different things to shift your self-perception, so seeing yourself as every aspect that you want to actually be embodying, you put that as your affirmation. So I am whatever I am, and having that all as post-it notes, and then standing in the power pose for 2 minutes and reading affirmations was really empowering to shift my state. And when you shift your energetic state, then you're more in a space of being able to take divinely aligned action. And speaking of the divine, for me, I have a relationship with God, and when I am desiring something in my life or desiring a shift, I usually tune in with God. I'll ask for confirmation. Is this the right path for me? Is this for my highest good? And getting that confirmation really helps me have extra confidence in the direction that I'm taking. And so around this time where I was doing all of this stuff, I also was asking God for confirmation. And for that, I asked for me to be shown something very specific. And so for me, it was to find a 4-leaf clover, which I had never found an actual 4-leaf clover in the ground before in my life. And so for this, it was a huge leap of faith that I was wanting to take in my life, and a huge major change and shift. And I felt a lot of fear around it. So I wanted to have divine confirmation, and I wanted the confirmation to be strong enough that I felt certain in it. So instead of saying something like, show me a purple flower or show me a butterfly or something that we've all seen before in our lives, I wanted a physical, real 4-leaf clover, which I had never found before in my life. So this to me was something like, okay, if I'm going to do something that feels very scary for me that I've never done before in my life, then you also please show me something that I've never seen before in my life. So I get very clear confirmation. And within less than 5 minutes of asking this from God, I said, if this is for my highest good and the right thing or best thing for me to do, please show me a 4-leaf clover. Within less than 5 minutes, I found a 4-leaf clover on the ground for the first time in my life. And so I received this divine confirmation, and this is my beliefs. Obviously, different people watching will have different beliefs, but these are all things that have helped me on my journey with shifting timelines and manifesting in my life. And so getting divine confirmation helped in really feeling more empowered with what I'm desiring, and also recognizing that if we have a desire in our heart, then it is divinely guided and supported. And so God can place desires in our hearts too. And so just recognizing that whatever's in our hearts is likely divinely guided and supported. And sorry if you're hearing weird sounds from my dog. I hope it's not too loud or that you can really hear what's going on with him, but he's got a little toy that he's playing with. But anyways, so divinely aligned and confirmed, and then askfirmations as well as affirmations on sticky notes with a power pose. And those are all things that within about a week of putting all of these into place, I noticed huge changes in my life. Incredible opportunities started presenting themselves to me. So I would just get a text message about something, and then I would get opportunities from that, and then I would get other opportunities from hearing different things, and everything felt very divinely orchestrated and divinely aligned. And something, do you want to come up here and say hi? And something that And something also with prayer, which is very similar to manifestation, is believing. So after asking for something, believing that it is done. So whether that is with manifesting and you're choosing what you're wanting, and then it's important to believe that it's done. With a prayer too, there's actually, I believe, a quote from the Bible that talks about once you ask for something from God, believe it is done. And that's to get into a state of trusting and believing that whatever you're putting out there that you're wanting and asking for in prayer, that it's being taken care of divinely, and you must now be in a state of trust and belief and faith, and just walk through life knowing that it's happening. And the human brain is designed in a way to have a negativity bias, and so that is how we survived for thousands and thousands of years, is for our brain to look more at what could go wrong, because that helped us to prevent problems and keep ourselves safe from imminent danger and threats. And right now in our lives, if we're wanting more expansion and good things coming to be, having that negativity bias doesn't help us. And so shifting that and shifting our mindset can be really important to retrain and rewire our brains with things like positive affirmations and askfirmations, in order to then train the brain to look for the good and believe in the good. And especially in a world where we might see negative things all over the place all the time, we might see scary things. And so if we're being inundated with this negativity and fear, it can really disempower us. And if we're asking for prayers to be answered, but then we're just spending our time looking at the opposite of that, then it can be really difficult to allow it in. And so our hearts and minds and energy has to also be open to allow and receive. And sometimes that is even just like taking a nap, or going and taking a day where you can just go be in nature, or take a bath, or do things that are soothing to help soothe your nervous system, to help let go of the past, do any type of healing if there are things that are blocking your energy too. So These are all things that, as I was on this journey, I was also creating a program called Sanctuary, which is also designed to help with all of this. And I put myself through everything in this program for years before having it be ready to offer it. And it's a mix of energy healing, so letting go of the past and healing the past, as well as empowerment, so claiming our power, and creating our dream life, so manifesting and shifting timelines and choosing our desired reality. And so I'll have a link down in this video description for the program Sanctuary. I'm honored to be offering it to you, and it's something that I've really put my heart and soul into over the last few years and have brought myself along this journey, and it's really shifted things for me. And so all of these things that I'm talking about are things that we go through in the program Sanctuary to really help heal the past, claim our power, and create our dream life. So I'll have links down in this video description for the program Sanctuary and the other programs and resources I have available, and I would love for you to join us in Sanctuary. And I would also love to hear if there are other manifestation techniques or reality timeline shifting techniques that you have that have helped you along your journey, so we can all help each other. This is something that I feel like we're moving into an energy of less competition, less comparison, and more collaboration, and recognizing that if we're all living in a way that's aligned with our higher self or our soul or our heart and source, God, creator, the Tao, whatever we believe in, if we believe that we're aligned with our heart and our highest good, then I believe that that's also the highest good for the collective. And so if we can all shift into a space of feeling empowered and aligned with our hearts and feeling more self-love than we've likely ever known, in a way where we're emanating that love, where we're just overflowing in an energy of love, and I feel like that's what allows for world peace. As we create peace within ourselves, we're living within an energy of inner peace, then we're emanating that. So if we can create peace and love within ourselves, then we're emanating that to create a more peaceful and loving world and reality. So I'd love to hear from you guys if there are things that have helped you along your journey, and if you have any questions, please let us all know in the comments, and we can help each other out to get to this space of creating a more loving and peaceful world and reality for all of us. Because as we're choosing different realities to hop to or jump to, or however you see it, like a timeline shifting or hopping or whatever, however you plop into a new reality, there's a collective reality in that. And so you're going to have also new people entering your life, and people whose reality resonates with yours. And so we don't necessarily all want to be alone in a great world. Like, aloneness definitely a great world. So being alone can definitely be enjoyable and peaceful, but it would also be great to have extra beings in our desired realities. And so the more we can help each other get to our desired realities, then the more good soul aligned connections we can have in those realities. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. If this video helped you at all, please give it a thumbs up. That really helps me out. And subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you get notified every time I've got a new video out. And if you liked this video, you'll probably like this one, so check it out. And I'll see you next time. May you be happy, healthy, and free. Bye.